Okay, we're back with a few more defensive use of a firearm stories for you. We're going to start in Chicago, Illinois, where we have a 33-year-old female victim who was unharmed, and this one appears to be a home invasion. An off-duty Cook County deputy was involved in an incident where a shot was fired at someone trying to break into a home on the far south side Wednesday morning. The incident occurred in the 11,400 block of South King Drive, on the far south side, so we know this is a good area. Chicago police said a 33-year-old woman was inside a residence when she heard someone attempting to break in through a window. She then fired a shot and the suspect fled in an unknown direction. A spokesperson with the Cook County Sheriff's Office said an off-duty deputy was involved. Neighbors said police were asking them if they saw anyone throw a bottle at one of the windows. It's pretty shocking. A neighbor said, I go to work in the area pretty often and pretty quiet area, a lot of older people, so typically that type of situation doesn't happen within the area. So to come in this morning, and it's early this morning, it's shocking. Okay, so this one, somebody fired a shot at somebody that they thought was attempting to break into a window, and they didn't actually get into the house. And if the police are asking if somebody had seen anyone throw a bottle at the window, this one, the person who fired the shot is probably just lucky that they didn't hit the person, because this sounds like, they may have been justified in firing the gun at the person, but they're probably lucky in that incident that they didn't actually hit anybody. Okay, let's go to Texas, San Antonio, Texas, to Taco de Mama food truck. All right, we have two adult male victims one was unharmed and two suspects and one victim that was injured. And the suspects were both adult males and they were unharmed. And this is some kind of robbery. A man who was just waiting to buy breakfast tacos was shot in exchange of gunfire during an early morning robbery. The shooting happened around 6:30 a.m. Wednesday in a parking lot near the Tacos de Mama food truck off Blanco Road near Dresden Drive. Police said two customers were waiting for the truck to open when the armed suspects walked up and demanded their wallets. After they both handed over their wallets, one of the suspects opened fire on the suspects. Boy, this is written really poorly. One of the suspects opened fire on the victim, I'm assuming is what they meant to say, hitting one in the stomach. The victim pulled out a gun and returned fire. No word if either of the suspects were hit during the shootout. Police don't know if the taco truck was the intended target of the robbery. So it's 6:30 a.m. and these guys are waiting for breakfast tacos. And two guys walk up and rob them, and they actually give them their wallets. And the suspects still shoot them. They always say do what these guys say, but often the end result often is the same whether you do it or don't do it, depending on who the suspect is. And in this one, one of the victims had a gun and returned fire. And it sounds like one of the victims was the only one that got hurt in that. All right, so we're going to go to Memphis, Tennessee, where we have an adult male who was injured. That's our victim. And we have an adult male that was unharmed. That's our suspect, and looks like an armed robbery. A man is in critical condition after an East Memphis shooting on Wednesday morning. Officers responded to the shooting at 9:21 a.m. Police say a man pulled up to someone working in their yard and pulled a gun demanding money. When the man said he didn't have his wallet, the suspect fired shots at his back. The victim fired back, but it's unclear if the suspect was hit. The man was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Police are still on the hunt for the shooter. So this guy's out just doing work in his yard, and he doesn't have his wallet on him, but apparently he has his gun on him because he's in East Memphis. And, he didn't have his wallet, so the criminal shot at him, and he fired back. Dangerous doing your yard work in some cities. All right, let's go to Raleigh, North Carolina, to the Food Lion, where our victim was unharmed and our suspect, 49-year-old Stephen McLam, was killed. This one says road rage. Raleigh police have decided not to file charges after a woman shot and killed a man in the parking lot of a Food Lion grocery store. 49-year-old Stephen McLam is accused of tugging on a woman's car door handle Tuesday after following her to the store. He reportedly became aggressive as they were driving, and the woman shot McLam. McLam died from his injuries at the hospital. Raleigh Police Major Brian Harrison said the authorities do not plan to file charges unless new evidence becomes available. Defense attorney Lee Turner said McLam contributed to the incident. It's obvious this individual contributed to what occurred to him that day by his own actions. Turner mentioned Statute 1451.2, commonly referred to as the Castle Doctrine, basically saying your home, your automobile, your workplace are considered to be an individual's castle, and you have a right to defend yourself inside those locations. According to the law, the person defending has to feel there is an imminent threat of serious bodily injury to themselves. The law presumes she was afraid for her life because this person was trying to unlawfully enter her castle, her car, said Daniel Meyer, a defense attorney. So this guy was apparently being aggressive while they were driving, and he followed her to this store and then tried to get into her vehicle. And I have had times before in my life where I've had people that are aggressive like this that have followed me, and I had been going home, and I will literally drive around till they stop following me, or I'll pull over to see if they pass, or I'll do something. Like, I won't actually go to the store and stop long enough to see if they get out, because you just don't know, especially when they're aggressive. If they're aggressively driving, I would almost say the best thing to do in that situation is not to continue going where you're going, but just go to the nearest police station and pull into the parking lot of the nearest police station. Because you don't know what these guys, I mean, sometimes these people, when they're driving, for whatever reason, people just take things to whole new levels, and it's just not, it's not even worth it. I mean, you drive around till they stop following you, you go to a police station, you pull over, see if they stop too. If they do, then you just keep on going. If they don't pass, I mean, there's many things that you can do, but I don't know. If she obviously knew he was being aggressive and he was following her, and she still went to the grocery store, I don't know. I mean, it's not, I'm not blaming her. I'm just saying there's better ways to handle that than going someplace where they're going to be able to get out and confront you. Or if you saw them get out of the car, you got to take off. You can't stay there. All right, we're going to go to Cocoa, Florida, to the Stradley Memorial Park. And we got an adult male victim and an adult male suspect. The victim was injured and the suspect was unharmed. The incident began about 8 p.m. at Stradley Memorial Park. An unidentified man punched a woman, prompting a nearby coach to walk over in an attempt to intervene. Police said the man then went to his car, retrieved a silver revolver, and fired off at least 2 rounds at the coach's feet. At least one of the bullets grazed the coach's foot. The coach then went to his car to get his firearm, discharging 4 rounds at the man as he ran towards a fence and fled. The man turned and fired his gun at least once before leaving the area. So, Cocoa police talked to the coach and the woman. The man, who also took the woman's cell phone, was not located but is wanted for questioning. No arrests were made. Okay, so this is one of those where it gets iffy again. I mean, we have these, sometimes this works out okay and sometimes it doesn't. This guy, the coach, he went and got his gun, and the suspect was fleeing. He was already running away, and this guy fired 4 shots at him. Now, they don't think he hit him, or they didn't say that he hit him, but he fired 4 shots at him, and then the guy turned around and fired once back and shot at him. And they always say if the person's running away, it's not self-defense if you fire at him. But this guy, he ran, and before he was done leaving the area, turned around and fired back at the coach. So you don't know, how are you supposed to know if the incident is resolved? if that criminal is done doing whatever they're going to do just because they're running away. They might start running away and run 10 feet and turn around and shoot. They might run 100 feet and turn around and shoot. You don't know that. So when there was just a story I did on in St. Paul, I think it was St. Paul, that the guy was at the bus stop with his girlfriend, and the girlfriend's ex came up and started beating up the girlfriend, and he ended up, as the ex-boyfriend was running away, this guy fired shots on the guy and killed him. And this guy's being charged. They're not calling it self-defense. The guy was running away. But how do you know that the incident in the mind of that criminal has been resolved? How do you know they're not going to just come back? I mean, I understand that they're running away, but that doesn't mean the incident is over. So in this one, the guy didn't hit him. Everything's probably fine. He's not going to get any charges. But he fired at the guy while he was running away, and the guy returned fire. I don't know. Some of these, it gets iffy. Like, I don't know how, if you're the person that it's happening to, how you're supposed to know if the incident is resolved. And speaking of St. Paul, we have a story from the Speedway gas station in St. Paul, Minnesota. Our victim was unharmed, and our suspect was an adult male, both adult males. He was also unharmed, and he was trying to rob something. An employee of an armored vehicle company fired a shot into the air after he was robbed at gunpoint in St. Paul this week. Officers and the K-9 unit were called to the Speedway on Lexington Parkway just off Interstate 94 around 2 p.m. Monday. The worker had been unloading an ATM when a man robbed him of an undisclosed amount of cash. The employee chased the suspect and said the man pointed a gun at him. The employee fired a shot into the air. The suspect rode away on a bicycle, and police hadn't found him as of Wednesday afternoon. So this guy robs an armored car with a bicycle and gets away. And the guy in the armored vehicle shot into the air. He didn't shoot at the guy as the guy was leaving. He shot into the air. So I don't know. I don't know how these people, how you rob with a bicycle and nobody catches you. And how he wasn't seen on gas stations they have cameras everywhere at gas stations, but maybe that's a bad area or something and the cameras don't work, or maybe they don't have cameras there. Who knows? Okay, we're going to go on to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where we have our victim was unharmed and our suspect, an adult male, was injured, and this looks like another home invasion. A man was shot Monday morning after fleeing from the police in Fort Lauderdale and then breaking into a home through a window. According to the Fort Lauderdale police, officers attempted to pull over a felony vehicle from Miami around 3:30 a.m., but the driver fled from officers. Police set a pursuit ensued, and the suspect bailed out of the vehicle. About 10 minutes later, with the assistance of K-9 and Broward Sheriff's Office Aviation Unit, we never lost a visual of the suspect. Police said the driver was eventually spotted entering a home in the area through a window. Short time later, officers heard the sound of gunshots. Police confirmed that the suspect was taken by Fort Lauderdale Fire and Rescue to Broward Health Medical Center as a trauma alert. He is expected to survive. It is unclear whether the suspect shot himself or was shot by someone inside the home. So this guy only broke into this house because the police were chasing him and he was trying to get away. And he either shot himself or someone inside the home shot him. But he was fleeing the police, and he thought the best place to hide from the K-9 and the helicopter was jumping in through a window of somebody else's house, where he was met with a bullet. All right, that's all I have for you on this one, but I'll be back with more of these. If this is something that interests you, please hit that like button and maybe leave a comment in the comments so the YouTube algorithm knows this is something they should spread out to more people. And so I know that this is something that people enjoy watching. If you haven't already, consider subscribing, and I'll catch you on the next one.